Hey, you just caught me drinking my one of 12 glasses of water a day. Keeping healthy this year. You might remember at the beginning of COVID, my food blog entailed a lot of homemade confectionaries. Well, let me tell you, today we're gonna be working with kale. Yeah, that's what happens when you turn 50. You have to start eating things like kale. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm already dismayed with this quote unquote vegetable because something shouldn't take this much work to taste good. I'm gonna take you on a little kale journey, if you will. Come on in and join me. The kale had to be thoroughly washed, and then I employed the salad spinner, which I got from the basement, and yes, I did indeed have to wash that as well. But I needed the salad spinner because apparently the kale needs to be bone dry when making kale chips or it will steam. So I'm gonna let this dry for an hour and then I'm gonna put my toppings on. All right, so we are back and the kale has thoroughly dried. I'm now going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to do this in small batches. They say don't make it too small because the kale really dehydrates when it's baked, but at the same time, I'm not sure what too small is. So we're going to put a few pieces in here just kind of as a tester. All right, then it says to coat it with oil. Now, I originally found a vegan recipe. Let me tell you about the vegan recipe. Don't use it unless you're a vegan. It did talk about using nutritional yeast, and I was like, oh, what's nutritional yeast? And it said it gives the chips a cheesy flavor. I'm gonna let that sit with you and tell you I'm not using nutritional yeast. So I'm gonna give a nice spray coating to my kale chips, and then I'm going to add my everything bagel seasoning because everything bagel seasoning makes everything taste good, right? I mean, we all know it made the celery and cream cheese taste good, so we're just sitting with that. All right, I got it in there. Now it says to massage the kale. And what it means by massage is to mutilate it so that it softens it and makes it, again, more palatable. All of these things are basically big red warning flags to not make this recipe, but I'm forging ahead. So I have my kale covered. I'm gonna grab my air fryer basket, and another disclaimer is that I've never used the air fryer before because, well, it's not my jam. Because why air fry when you can deep fat fry? Okay, so I think I might pour a few more bagel seasoning chips on there. I mean, bagel seasoning, everything bagel seasoning on there because it seems to have fallen off, but who knows? Okay, all right, so I've got it in there. We're gonna bake it, I think at like 350 in the air fryer for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna test it out and see how it is. All right, so the first batch has been in the air fryer at 350 for 5 minutes, and indeed, it is crispy. There's no doubt about that. So we're gonna take it out and give it a try. All right, so I fear that it's possible the only thing these kale chips will have going for them is the presentation. So I put it in a beautiful little bowl, nicely placed, serving it with these little handy dandy chopsticks so it can be kind of a fancy affair, if you will. And I'm gonna give it its first try. All right, here we go. Well, I have to say I didn't need to split it out, but it is kind of like eating a bitter piece of paper with a little bit of yummy bagel seasoning on it. So I'm gonna have to give kale a thumbs down, and I'm going to have to resort to my no prep eggs, which I really enjoy. There we go. And I'm gonna just One of these. Well, I'm gonna say, if you're choosing between these two foods, definitely go with the no prep marshmallow eggs. And I'm gonna ask you to join me next time as I figure out what to do with 5 bunches of celery that I didn't order from my Misfit Foods order. You know, I was trying to save the planet while I was trying to save myself, and I think maybe I'm just gonna stick with not saving the planet or myself. See you later, fellow foodies.